Hi, good afternoon. This is Elizabeth Griffin, your independent author from South Philadelphia. And today I want to talk briefly about the Romance Writers of America 2019 conference. So 2 years ago, I decided to attend this particular conference because it was being held close to my home. And I thought it'd be feasible for me to travel from Philadelphia to New York and to book a hotel room for a week. So January of this year, I became an official Romance Writers of America member. And along with that membership, I was able to get a discount rate for the fee to attend the conference. Also, I became a PAN author, which means that the organization recognized that I published multiple books. I did not take advantage of the hotel accommodations that the Marquis Marriott and the Romance Writers of America provided. I thought that I could find a better rate for my hotel accommodations, so I shopped around. So by the time I decided that perhaps I wanted to stay at the Marquis because their prices were pretty good, all those rooms were taken. I could have gotten a room at the Marquis, but it would have been at a higher rate. So I ended up choosing a hotel across the street from the Marquis, which was very convenient for me. I suggest, however, that if you're interested in staying at the hotel where the convention is being held, to take advantage of that right away because the rooms go fast. And you don't want to wait to the last minute to make your accommodations in general because a lot of people are attending these events and you may find yourself scrambling around trying to find a room that is close to the event, and you don't want that stress. I also was able to travel by Greyhound to New York. So I made two trips, one to bring my clothing and my books, and the second one to bring my posters and more books. And I like the fact that it was so close that I could make two trips and not have to worry too much about that. When you go to the different workshops, I suggest that you bring a sweater or something to keep you warm because some of the workshops can be a little chilly. I would also advise that you bring something to drink to stay hydrated and to have snacks because it's going to be a long day. You're going to be going to the Goodie Room, which offers promotional information about other authors and free books and bookmarkers and pens and things like that. You're also going to be going to different workshops that could be an hour or 45 minutes, and you don't want to stop and get something to eat while you're in the middle of this. They do set aside a time that you can go for lunch and you can break so that you're able to recuperate and to go back into the workshop mode. It is definitely fast paced. It is definitely enjoyable. You can be overwhelmed at times. However, just take it all in stride and just enjoy it and realize, like, if you can't get to all the workshops that you want to, that they will be made available through tapes. And I noticed that every workshop I went in, they were recording the workshop. So the ones that you aren't able to attend, you can buy copies of that. The first day of the conference, which was a Wednesday, my daughter and I went early, and we picked up our registration packet, which was a bag that had several books in it. And in addition to the books, it had the itinerary book, which broke down all the events that are going to be happening at the conference. And what I liked about the itinerary book was that at a glance, you could see what was being offered. It was very clear and concise, and you didn't have to really think a lot about it. You just had to decide which workshops you wanted to go to and which ones you didn't. They also had orientation for new members, and when you go there, they would tell you what to expect from the organization and what it had to offer to you. And also it mentioned something about the local chapters if you want to become a member of the local chapter. I at the time was not a member. I'm considering joining the Philadelphia local chapter, but at the orientation, it just brings you up to date on what's going on with the organization. In addition to that, if you want to think about a typical day at the conference, you would get up around 5:36 and then get dressed, and then you would go to maybe a yoga presentation where you would do yoga, and then around 7 o'clock you could go to a sprint writing workshop. And what that would entail is a group of writers would go and meet with a published writer, and for an hour you would write, and you would decide on a word count or what you wanted to accomplish in that hour, and you would write. My daughter and I weren't familiar with the writing sprint, so we came with paper and pencil. But we noticed there were a lot of other people there that had their laptops, and they were write for an hour, and it's real quiet. And then at the end of that hour, the person that was hosting the workshop would talk to you and say, well, did you meet your goals? Did you do what you wanted to do? Did you want to edit? Like, some people were editing their work, other people were writing new work. For me, I use that time to write in a journal, like the things that I was thinking about, the things that I wanted to write about in the future. So I like that, and it also prepared you for writing. It got you in the habit of writing every day, which was part of the purpose of it and meeting your goals. Also, they had like a goodie room, and a goodie room is where published authors would put their promotional material. So they could have copies of their books, they could have bookmarkers, they could have postcards, they could have earrings. They had all types of promotional information there, and every day different writers would contribute to that room. Also, in addition to the goodie room and the orientation, you could also go to different workshops. And what I liked about the workshops was there were so many to choose from that you picked the ones that best suited you. But if you wanted to find out what was going on in the other workshops, you can buy tapes of the other workshops. They will be made available through the organization at a later time. So you don't have to miss out. You can end up attending all the workshops, some in person and some through listening and watching the audios and the visual. So in addition to that, they had a luncheon, which you'd have a keynote speaker, and they also had a breakfast, and then they had the librarians luncheon. So they had different things going on different days, and it was very exciting, very informative. You were able to meet different writers, you were able to network, and of course they had the different awards like the Rita Award and the Golden Heart Award. Those things were wonderful, and you got to see what other writers were doing and what they were getting recognized for as far as their writing work. And they also mentioned certain competitions that you could participate, but you'd have to meet the deadlines. Also, they had something called a pitch segment where you would go in and pitch an idea. And you would find out about these pitch opportunities through the website. And you would, if you get there early enough, you would sign up for it, a time, and then you would come in at that day and you would pitch your idea. I wasn't able to do the pitching because that opportunity went quickly. So it was like first come, first serve, and it was not available in a matter of minutes. But it is offered to you, and they would have editors there and they would have publishers there. What I also liked about the workshops and the event was that they had people from the industry there that you could talk to. Like, they had Mark Coker there from Smashwords. They had Hallmark Publishing. They had something called Hooked, which was an app. They were looking for writers to write 1,000-word stories in text format. There was all type of creative and innovative people there. There were people offering photo stock covers. There were people that were willing to set up your audio books, set up your ebooks. All types of opportunities were there. So you could become overwhelmed with all the things that were going on there. However, I just say take a deep breath, take it in stride, and go at your own pace. And networking was wonderful, wonderful. They also had parties. Harlequin had a party, which was invitation only. Bliss had a meet and greet, and they had games that you could play, and they also did interviews, and their part of Harlequin Bliss was. Also, they had a lot of book signings, like Harlequin Romance had a book signing, and they had, I don't know how many authors was in the room, and you could get free books from all of them. I ended up getting so many free books that I had to ship them back to my home because I couldn't possibly bring them back on the Greyhound bus. So that's something to consider. If you're going to the signings and you get all these books, mail them back to yourself. That way you don't have to worry about the hassle of trying to take them back on the plane or stuffing them all in your car. You have another way of getting your material back home. I enjoyed the event, and also as far as eating, my daughter and I didn't want to eat in restaurants every day, so we found a supermarket. And some days we would go in and we would get yogurt and we would get fruit and vegetables and salads and all types of things. Sushi, my daughter loves sushi, so we got sushi. And it was reasonable, the pricing. I didn't have to spend a lot of money at the restaurants as far as like tipping and things like that. Some days we did, and then some days we would just go to the supermarket and get nutritional food that way. Overall, the event was amazing, amazing, amazing. It was so many opportunities. I went to the Rita after party, and the people there just made me feel so welcomed. And the music was amazing, the dancing, the camaraderie. It was just such a wonderful bonding moment. So I suggest, if you have the opportunity, definitely go to the Romance Writers of America convention, because you will find all kinds of people there. You will find published authors there. You will find people that are about to publish their first book, debut authors. You will find indie authors. You will find all kinds of things. And I, as an author, have printed books, so I participated in the book signing, and I had my posters there. I was the only person there with the large posters that I set out in the hallway at the Marriott, which drew a lot of people in. And also with my books, I gave them away. There is no selling books at this event. Everything is pretty much a giveaway. They did have a bookstore there, and at that bookstore you could buy books, but most of the books were free, and they were used as promotional information to get yourself out there. There was a lot of librarians there. There were a lot of there were even men there, male writers. It was just a wonderful, wonderful time. I hope this video has been helpful, and please leave your comments below. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Also, you can reach me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and definitely YouTube channel. Share my channel with other people. The more thumbs up I get, the more reviews I get, the more exposure I get. And I do this out of love. I love writing. I hope this has been helpful to you. And thank you very much. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Peace, love, joy. Bye-bye.